Welcome back to my channel. Obviously, if you read from the title, today I'm going to be debunking conspiracy theories that you've probably heard almost everywhere. Keep in mind, I'm not no pro. Everybody has their own thoughts on things and their own ways of understanding things. So anything you take from this video, take it with a grain of salt and interpret it the way that you best would. Okay? So don't be in my custom with some, oh, she's so wrong. That's so wrong. That's wrong. I have proof. I've been doing proof for like 2 days now. I was up at 5 a.m. in the morning getting proof for this. So, come on. First, I'm going to first start with everything I'm going to address. How they remove bells so the government can control you. They can get control back. They stop making bells because demons, they hate bells. They hate harmonic sounds, all of that. But the government wants control of that. They stopped making bells like years ago. I think it was in like Paris or France, somewhere along those two. The bells created vibrations that put people in this state of like unconsciousness. And the government wanted to control that because they were going in places that they were not supposed to know about. Which is where I'm going to go to the next topic. The book of Enoch and the Bible. A lot of people don't know this, but the book of Enoch was actually a part of the Bible. They just removed it. And I'm going to put evidence right here of why they removed it. They removed it because God made the Bible so you can follow his word. He wanted you to follow his word. Because he knew that if you knew all the things, if you knew the power that you had, the world would just corrupt it. That's really the main reason why they removed the book of Enoch from the Bible. In the book of Enoch, it says that there's 10 heavens. 10 heavens, not one. Not one, there's 10 heavens. And the 10th heaven is the highest one. That is where God's throne sits. The first one is close to earth, where clouds are believed to form it. Okay? The second one is a realm where celestial bodies like the sun, moon, and the stars are situated and move in their courses. Basically what they call so-and-so space. Okay? The third one is the most popular one that's depicted in by almost everybody. It depicts beauty and peace in the sun. The fourth one is where the sun and the moon are placed when they're not in the sky. The fifth one is associated with various celestial beings like angels who praise and glorify God. The sixth one is where seven archangels reside and see different aspects of cosmos. The seventh one is where divine mysteries are revealed. The 8th and 9th and 10th are the very most highest. And like I said before, the 10th heaven is where God's throne sits. Okay? Which is where I also go to the next topic. Fallen angels and giants. Nephilims, they're in the Bible. They're in the Bible. If you don't have your Bible by you while you're watching this video, pull your Bible out. Because this is going to confirm any confusion you have. Because most of this stuff is in the Bible. Okay? A lot of people don't know, but Adam and Eve weren't the first people to sin. They weren't. If anything, they were part of the sin that caused the great flood. If anything, okay? Most of everything that is taught to us today, like makeup, weapons, cosmos, astrology, making weapons, how to kill somebody, me how to like deceive somebody, that was taught to us by fallen angels. Fallen angels. That was not discovered by mankind. That was taught to us. Don't bring me up. Let me know if I'm saying this right. Azazel taught us makeup to appear as something that we're not. And then Godrill taught us how to make weapons of war, how to unalive people in one blow, like the anatomy of humans, science. And Berwickle taught us astrology. That's the reason why God is so against it, because we were never meant to know how to read the stars. Only God's word alone. They even introduced, the fallen angels even introduced the idea of consuming the liquid that comes out our body, the red stuff. That which is where the rituals come in. Okay? And giants, they made it with humans. Giants were created from mermaids. Basically, don't get me wrong. If you think I'm wrong on this part, correct me, okay? Feel free in the comments to correct me. Giants were created from mermaids. The sirens/mermaids. Mermaids are not a thing. They're actually called sirens, okay? They made it with human beings, and then they made two different types of giants. One was the heroes of old, their servants. And then the other one was the Nephilims. But some of them, it was so bad, they mixed with people, and sometimes it would create abnormal giants. They would have one arm, one limb, one eye. And they even looked like alien-like. In Genesis 6:4, it mentions Nephilim. I'm going to read it out for y'all. The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of God went to the daughters of humans and had children by them. They were the heroes of old, men of renown. God flooded the earth. It was taught to us. Things were taught to us like history and a bunch of things taught to us. That's a lie. That's the false truth. They told us that God flooded the earth because of Adam and Eve's sin, but he actually didn't. He saw so much unrighteousness and he did not like it. So he told Noah to build an ark for his family, and he flooded the earth with a great flood. Now the earth was corrupt in God's sight and was full of violence. So God said to Noah, I am going to put an end to all people, for the earth is filled with violence. Because of them, I am surely going to destroy both of them and the earth. I am going to bring flood waters on the earth to destroy all life under the heavens. Every creature that has a breath of life in it, everything on earth will perish. Keep that in mind, what I just said. Fallen after God flooded the earth, he took the fallen angels and chained them as punishment. And they will be chained. They were or will be chained until the day of judgment in the dark. Have y'all ever heard of the theory that petrified giants? Have y'all seen the thing where they're finding these rocks, right? They're finding these very abnormally big, huge rocks. And when you cut them open, it resembles human tissue cells. Human tissue and blood and all. And then they took it to a science lab to test it. And you know the main ingredient that was in that rock was magnesium cellulite, which is the main component for our body. Magnesium is in our body. So why is blood parts in a rock, inside of a rock? think about that. If you really think about, speaking of the giants too, they taught us in history that the Egyptians built the pyramids. But that's actually not true at all. The same way they lied about Martin Luther King dying from that shot, he was actually killed in the hospital. They were so racist at that time that they killed him in the hospital. He was not killed on that stand. Back to what I was saying though. The pyramids, each stone weighed 2 tons each. 2 tons each. Keep that in mind, what I just said. Each stone weighs 2 tons each. So if you're a human being like me, and you're building a big old pyramid, mind you, multiple, 2 tons each, that's not even physically possible to carry. A regular human being cannot carry a 2 ton of stone and get it done in such a short time. The only possible way that they're able to do that because of giants. The giants built the pyramids. No Egyptians built that pyramid. Do you know? Do the math here. A human beings our size back then, building the pyramids, the stones are 2 tons each. That would take almost 400 years to build. The timelines don't even match up. They're lying right to your face. The same way the government is lying about the moon landing. Buzz, he never landed on the moon. Nobody has ever been to space because space does not exist. The sun and the moon exist, but the space does not exist. Nowhere in the Bible does it say that there is Neptune, Mercury, Mars, Saturn. There's nowhere in the Bible. If you look on these maps, if you look in the maps, there's no real satellite. They make so much fake images of Google Earth. Literally. Nobody has ever been to space. In NASA's main building, they have a big old pool of water that leads to the main part of the ocean, which they take down spaceships. Why would NASA, a space company, have a big old pool of water that leads to the main ocean and has a spaceship going inside it? Think about that. They even said themselves that they never landed on the moon. They've never been to space. They said it in multiple interviews. Multiple interviews. And I'm going to put proof of all this on the screen. Okay? I'm really not going to edit this video. If anything, I'm going to put evidence in this video. I'm not going to cut anything out. Just so like y'all might think, you know? And did y'all know that back then, the real reason they got all those slaves on that ship the way they did was because it was this well of water, right? And in the well of the water contained melanin. Melanin is in our bodies. It was melanin water, and they would have the slaves drink it, and they would go in this like state where they wouldn't remember. They would wake up in the next place and not remember how they got there. They had the white people discovered this, mind you, a well with water with melanin in it. Come on. Even the trees. Think about, have you heard that song where it's like the root of the leaves, something. Blood in the leaves, blood in the roots. trees are alive. Believe it or not, if y'all want to believe it or not, trees are alive, okay? There's good and bad trees. Back then, they would hang slaves up on the tree, okay? And when you hang people up, there's going to be blood. And their blood went in the tree. Mind you, blood can be a powerful thing. For real. The same way they say that menstrual cycles are a powerful thing because you're bleeding every month. You're cleansing your body every month. Speaking of periods, Eve did not eat the apple by herself. She was actually convinced by the serpent. The serpent convinced her to eat the apple. And then she shared it with her husband, Noah. And then when God came to the garden, he said, "Why did you not call for me?" He said, "Because I have no clothes on." And God said, "How do you know that? You're not supposed to know that." So Eve did not eat the apple by herself. It was Noah, it was Eve and Adam. They both ate the apple. And the whole myth about why we got periods now is because Eve ate the apple. No, actually, the main thing he put relating even close to pain or menstrual of woman is the pain of childbearing. That's the pain of childbearing, caring to their husband's every need. I don't like that part, but some parts you can't agree with all the time, okay? You just gotta take it with a grain of salt, okay? Like I was saying, your periods, your menstrual cycle is actually not supposed to be painful at all. If it's painful, that means that your body hormones are unbalanced. And let's talk about Paramount. Y'all know the classic Disney logo that they have for Tinkerbell, the whole Tinkerbell movie and all. It shows 22 stars. Keep in mind that number I just told you. 22 stars flying over a big water and it's going over a mountain. 22 stars. Keep that in mind. If you break down the word paramount, para means, when translated, it means God's spirit. God's spirit mounts. Paramount. 22 stars hover over it. And mind you, that's Mount Hermon. And Hermon translated means devoted to destruction. Mount Hermon is the mountain of the chief. Okay? 200 angels fell in Congress and 22 leaders were named. They met on Mount Hermon to talk about how they were going to take over the world with unrighteousness, which is where what I said earlier comes in. They took over the world with the unrighteousness to teach us things that we were not supposed to know. Y'all hear that? Exactly. Right? See? I know it may seem like I'm all over the place with this, but I'm really trying to get it out because I'm low-key afraid that the government is going to take down this video and say, oh, it's copyright or something. Low-key. Because they had done it before. I remember I recorded a video like years ago talking about how a bunch of conspiracy theories. And then I went to go look at the video not even like 10 seconds later. And the whole video was completely gone. disappeared. And have y'all heard of the thing where they're saying that the elites are eating the mermaids? Truth is, the elites have been eating mermaids. Have you seen the end of a mermaid tail? The end of a mermaid's tail is very highly similar to the end of a tail of a fish. Like a fish. A catfish at that. Okay? I'm just saying. Look, I'm gonna be quiet for a minute and let y'all think about that. But that's only in the LA industry. If you pay attention, if you hear about any demonic stuff, most of it comes from Hollywood, LA, right? LA, Hollywood, which is where most of those demons come in. Demons trying to rule the world with unrighteousness. They call them stars. They call them stars. And on the Hollywood walkway is stars on the ground with their names on them. The music industry in Hollywood, they all promote unrighteousness, and they're trying to spread it across the world. Which is why you see so many celebrities, after they get out of Hollywood, they look so different and like petrified, and like they saw something and did something that they're not supposed to do or see. And let's talk about how when you go to a grave site, you think you're talking to your ancestors. You're not. You're not talking. Whatever's in the ground, I'm going to read this. I'm going to read this Bible quote. I'm going to read the Bible quote, and then I'm going to go to it, okay? For the living know nothing. For the living know that they will die, but the dead know nothing. They have no further reward, and even their name is forgotten. Their love, their hate, and their jealousy have long since vanished. Never again will they have a part in anything that happens under the sun. The dead do not go to heaven or hell. Heaven and hell does not even exist. It's a state of conscience. They sleep in the ground, waiting for resurrection. They cannot communicate with you, and they don't even know what you're doing. So the person that you're talking to under that graveyard is not, you're talking to a fallen angel. You're not actually talking to that person. The only time you're talking to an angel is when they have passed on, and now they're in their afterlife. That's the only time you can. You cannot talk to somebody that's in the ground, because they cannot communicate, nor do they know what they're doing, nor do they know what you're doing. They cannot be awakened or aroused from their sleep. And y'all heard that thing where it says, we're a white cloth to church. Cecilius 9:6. 9:6. If you have your Bible by you while you're watching this video, look where I'm looking at. I'll give you time to go to it. No, not 9:6. Wrong thing. I'm sorry. 9 of... I just had it in my head. 9:8. Always be clothed in white, and always anoint your head with oil. Y'all can read the rest of it if y'all want, but that does have nothing to do with the topic that I'm talking about at the moment. Astral projections. Astral projections. My favorite topic. My favorite topic. Astral projections are dreams that are telling us something or warning us about something that we already did. That our future self already did, or something that's about to happen. Have you ever heard of deja vu? Deja vu only occurs when you've already done it in a dream or something. I'm gonna let y'all think about that, okay? And have y'all heard the firmament? Like I said before, space does not exist because you cannot go past the firmament. How would you get to space? Through the firmament. If you look in all of the NASA videos, on all the webcam footage they have of NASA on those ships, it always stops at a certain point. If you look closely at the ships, they always curve. They never go straight up. They always curve. Permanent there. Just like rainbows. Rainbows need something to bend on. They need something to bend on. So think about that. A rainbow bends. A firmament is over the earth. And above that firmament is water. Which is why they say you get to space through the ocean. Which is also why they more than likely have an ocean, a pool that leads to the main ocean in NASA. Think about that. For real. Think about that. And did y'all know that circle in Hebrew translated in Hebrew means vault. Vaults, like an opening, a vault. This right here is a firmament. This is where the heaven chambers are, okay? And all above that is water. That's the realm of God. If you think about it, there's so many stuff that's under most of history is under the water because God flooded the earth. So if you flood the earth, what's going to happen? Stuff is going to get buried deep down. That's what's going to happen. If you flood the earth in and nothing was destroyed before you flooded it, the stuff is going to get buried underneath. Ezekiel 10:1. Then I looked, behold, in the firmament, it says this in the Bible so much. Ezekiel 10:1. Then I looked, and behold, in the firmament that was above the head of the cherubims, there appeared over them as it were a sapphire stone, as the appearance of the likeness of a throne. Remember what I said about the 10th highest heaven is where God's throne sits. Remember that. Job 22:14. Thick cloud. No, hold on. I want to get this right. Hold on. I'll get this right. Revelation 7:1. After this, I saw 4 angels standing at the 4 corners of the earth, holding back the 4 winds of the earth. Never eat soggy waffles. 4, that's 4. North, east, south, west. Matthew 4:8. Again, the devil took him to a very mountain and showed him all the kingdom of the world and their splendor. Genesis 1:6. Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. Nowhere in the Bible does it says anything about space or Mars or Saturn or Jupiter. Isaiah 40:22. It is he who sits above the circle of the earth, and its inhabitants, and are like grasshoppers, who stretches out so that he does not see, and he walks on the circle of the sky. Proverbs 8:27. When he prepared the heavens, keyword, he didn't just say heaven, he said plural heavens. Like I said before, 10 heavens. 5 times 2 is 10, right? Okay. When he prepared the heavens, hold on. I didn't write that right. So let me fact check this, because I didn't really write that as clear as I wanted it to be. So I'm gonna fact check everything. There, when he set the heavens in place, when he marks out the horizon on the face of the deep, when he established the clouds above and fixed securely the fountains of the deep, when he gave the sea its boundaries so the waters would not overstep his command, and when he marks out the frontiers of the earth. Hold on, y'all. I'm making sure that I got everything correct. That I got everything out, you know. do know, right, that the government is watching y'all through y'all phones and computers? The government tracks and knows everything that we do because of our phones and our computers. They watch you through your camera and your phone cameras and stuff. They watch you. The same way they put stuff on social media, they're trying to promote unrighteousness. They like to brainwash you through social media sometimes too. And did y'all know, like I said before, Mount Hermon in the Paramount. Mount Hermon is exactly 33 degrees on north longitude. Keyword north. Never eat soggy waffles. The 4 angels on the 4 corners of the map. 1/3 angels fell with Lucifer. And what's 1/3 out of 100? What is 1/3 out of 100%? 33%. Boom. Bomb drop. Bomb, bomb, bomb. But yeah, let me know if y'all, if you disagree with anything I said in this video. Let me know in the comments, and stay safe.